The world of digital marketing moves at a dizzying speed. Strategies, budgets, tactics, buzzwords. How can we even begin to distinguish the signal from the noise, the good moves from the bad? Take it from the team that's tripped as much as we've triumphed. We're putting our best moves in the spotlight and spilling every secret to give you step-by-step instructions to steal for your own success and digitally scale your business. This is Marketing Moves.
Welcome back to another episode of Marketing Moves. I'm your host, Ashtyn Morris, Senior Account Executive and Strategic Partnerships Lead at Vivid Front. Today, I'm joined by Giovanna Knudsen, founder of Rogue Awakening and owner of Altitude Social House, both based here in Northeast Ohio. What makes Giovanna's story stand out is that she just hasn't built businesses, she's built communities. Rogue Awakening blends yoga, strength, and Pilates into one experience, while Altitude Social House brings together a collective of wellness businesses under one roof. Today, we're getting into her journey, how she spotted gaps in the wellness space, and how she's grown through community-first marketing instead of the typical fitness playbook. Giovanna, welcome to Marketing Moves.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. We've been chatting a little bit before the recording, and I know this is going to be a great conversation. You've built not one, but two businesses rooted in wellness and community here in Northeast Ohio. Before we get into how they operate today, I want to start with your path into all of this. Can you share a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey into fitness, I think, has always been around. I grew up with very active parents, and I remember doing workout classes with my friends at sleepovers. Like, they had these funny ones online, and we would just throw them up on the TV, and it'd be like midnight, and we're like doing donkey kicks in the living room. So there's like always been a part of my life. I would be in the gym working out with my mom or whatever the case might be. I spent my whole life up until I was a junior in college believing I was going to be a veterinarian. And anyone who knew me prior to that was like, yeah, that's definitely what she's going to do. So I actually went to school out in Colorado to pursue being a veterinarian. I still earned my animal science degree, but that junior year of studying, I was like, I do not want to do this every single day for the rest of my life. I love animals, and I still foster that. And what I do at the studio, we offer puppy kitten yoga every month, and we donate all of our funds to one-of-a-kind pet rescue that's in Akron. So I still have that part of me that wants to help animals, and I do that. But when I really had to sit down and have that conversation with myself about what can I see myself doing every single day, and what do I love doing, and what can I be excited about, I always came back to fitness. When I was in college, about my sophomore year there, so I think it was about 2013 to 2014, I became a fitness instructor at a local boutique studio there. And I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the energy. I love those aha moments that happen with the members. I loved it. And so when I graduated, I actually didn't really know what I wanted to do. But when I sat down and I asked myself that question, it always came back to fitness. I could see myself loving it and doing that. And so I earned a whole bunch of certifications, personal training, yoga, health coaching. I tried to learn as much as I could. And in doing that, I had the opportunity to work at a variety of different boutique studios, small gyms, box gyms. I got a lot of experience. And then it eventually just turned into me opening my own studio one day so I could take all the things that I learned and really make what I wanted the fitness industry to be for the people that would become members at my studio.
That's amazing. What made you know that you wanted to build something different?
I always felt a little bit boxed in, and I think I've been like that my whole life. Even when I wanted to be a veterinarian, I was like, I'm going to have my own office. But then I really found out I was way more excited about what my office would look like than like actually being a vet, which was like a huge indicator to not pursue that career path. But even when I was in a position when I was working in college at that boutique studio, I remember having a conversation with the owner of that studio saying that I would love to own my own studio one day. And thinking back, it's funny because I remember her being like, oh, okay, yeah, which is probably how I would respond to someone who said it, because at the time I could have never imagined everything that went into actually owning a studio. So her response was very appropriate, and it probably did seem like a far-fetched thing, because if anyone would come to me and say, I want to open my own fitness studio, I'd be like, oh, okay, go for it. But it's not.
Godspeed.
It's not, yeah, like literally Godspeed. It is not an easy thing to do. And I think that when you open a fitness studio, you do it because you love fitness, but you have to have a business mindset. And I really feel like my whole life I had a business mindset. Like I knew I wanted to have something that was mine and I wanted to build something. Both of my parents have worked my whole life. They are hustlers. And so I grew up around that energy. And so when I was working in these other places, I just felt that I could take what I've learned and I could amplify it into my own space. And I could really make the fitness industry, like I said, like what I think it should be. I could at least have that in this little place that I could control, and I could make sure people were having an amazing experience and that they were feeling balanced in their bodies and holistic. So
that's amazing. And I think you also tapped into something early about where consumers are at with their wellness and fitness, that they don't want to just do the same thing every single time. They want variety and longevity. And you built a multimodality studio. What gave you the conviction to do that?
It was really my own experience. When I was working at the fitness studio when I was in college, I still would bebop around and go to other places. And then even when I was done there and I graduated, I came back home, I still was going to bar classes, boxing classes, cycle classes. And I just wanted variety, right? I would have memberships at places and I wouldn't necessarily keep them. I would go to classes, I would have a 3-month membership, and then it would come to an end and I would try something different. So I was always looking for more. And then offerings like ClassPass came up, right? And ClassPass is actually a great option for people who want to be able to go to a variety of places. It's wonderful for the consumer. However, from a studio perspective, it's actually not a super helpful tool. There are a lot of people who get into it who end up wanting to come out of it. And so that's something we never will really venture into for my studio specifically. But the fact that we offer a multimodality offering is monumental to our success because people come into our space and they're able to decide what they want to do that day based on how they feel. They're not going to hit those same plateaus because they have variety and they have options. If they're feeling tired one day, they can do a recovery class. If they are feeling strong, like they have the muscle for it, they can do a weightlifting class. They can work on their body in a variety of ways, and they all support each other, the different modalities that we offer. So it just allows for people to find consistency and also meet themselves where they're at every single day without feeling like they have to do something because they have to use their credits or because they're paying for this membership. They truly can make the studio work for them wherever they're at in life.
And that's very unique. I don't see a lot of wellness or fitness studios that offer that. And I'm really excited to dig into all of your different offerings. But I do want to talk about your daughter. You've talked about her being your why behind what you've built. How has that shaped how you lead?
So Tegan, my sweet girl, she is almost 3 and she makes me slow down and she makes me really think about the long term and with everything I'm doing. So every choice I make, I feel like she's just in the back of my head and I am trying to build a life for us and a career and this like fitness empire that I can be proud of, but that she can also be proud of. She is very much intertwined into what I do. She comes to work with me. She hangs out in the child watch area. She's in it. And so she's like my everything. She gives me so much purpose and she really makes me remember what's important and to reprioritize the things that are important.
I'm so happy. I know you say that to her all the time, but we have this recorded. One day she can listen and hear all about it. That's a beautiful story. I know a lot of moms feel that pressure about working and then also being present at home. So how do you grapple with that?
Yeah, I think any working parent is going to have that pull where you're pulled one way or another. I think it really comes down to society creates these standards that we think we have to meet. And the reality is that unless you are a parent who is able to be home, you're never going to feel like you're able to give 100% as a parent. And then if you're also working, you're never going to feel like you're able to give 100% in your role. I know that firsthand because, like I said, my parents, they were both working parents. And I think the most important thing is that when I'm at work, I'm all locked in at work. And when I'm at home, I'm locked in at home. I actually heard someone ask the other day, it was like if your kid years from now asked what it was like to grow up with their parents. So if someone asked Tegan, what was it like growing up with your mom? That's what I think about. And so I want her to think of me as being fun, being present, all the adventures that we've gone on. And that isn't impacted because I'm working. It's impacted by the way that I respond to her, by the conversations we have, from me being like gentle with her and kind with her in our conversations. That's what they remember. They remember the way that you made them feel, not really all this stuff. And if you were working, like whatever, you were working. And growing up, I never ever looked at my parents and thought, oh, I'm like, they're missing out. I wish that they were around more. When they were there, they were in it with me. They came to my games. They came to my special events, my graduations. They were the best parents, and they worked their butts off.
Oh, yeah. And she'll take so much away from all the hard work that you're doing to build that life for her. This might be hard to sum up, but what's a typical day like for you?
Oh, wow. So it honestly depends. My husband is a firefighter, and so his schedule is very non-consistent.
Yeah.
And therefore my schedule is very non-consistent. I have consistency in the classes that I teach, but things come up, and I have an incredible leadership team at my studio. And so I have some like barriers that help. Like if a teacher is sick, one of them will be able to hopefully teach, and then I'm like last resort. But when they're out, which is what has happened the last 3 days, I end up teaching. Like today, I'm teaching 5 classes. I taught 2 this morning. I also saw a client. I teach 3 tonight, and I have another client. And so it's, what is that, 8 hours of just
Fitness.
Yesterday I taught. The day before that I taught. So it just depends. But in general, I guess I could say that most days I am at the studio, and then midday is where I go home and with my daughter, we're playing. If my husband's home, we're all going out to the park together, or whatever the case might be. I try to allow for there to be 1 or 2 days in my week where I don't have to be in studio, but it is pretty common that we're there. My daughter also loves it. She'll ask to go to the studio. She wants to get her protein balls from the cafe. And so we have this little routine where we go and we work until about 2, and then we go home. And unless I have to go back and teach, then we get to spend the rest of the day together at home.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And obviously you've built a very robust studio. So can you take us back to the beginning? How has the studio changed since then compared to where you're at now?
Yeah. So studio opened in 2020. It was June 20th, 2020, which, if we remember, was during the time of the pandemic. And so I had actually signed my lease in February of 2020. March 2020 is when everything shut down. So throughout the pandemic, we were building out where the studio used to be because we were at a previous location. 2.5 years after that, a couple things came up that just made it not make sense anymore. And from there, we were able to locate a building. And within 3 months, we were out of that first lease. We were into this new building. We have completely built out the floor that the studio now exists on, and we moved everything over. And so that was also when I found out I was expecting my daughter. And so from 2020 until, what would that have been, like right at the beginning of 2023, we were primarily a yoga and yoga strength studio. We had 2 areas where we had classes. One was an aerial room for aerial yoga, which we still offer, and the other one is where we held our larger yoga classes. And then I had a very small gym for personal training, and I saw my one-on-one clients. Then once we moved, that's where we really got to expand because we were able to offer that multimodality functionality of the studio, which I couldn't do as well before. We have always had a variety of classes, but now we had a dedicated gym space that was massive. It was like 10 times the size of what the smaller one was where I saw my one-on-one clients. So that's where we were able to offer our small group personal training classes. And then last year, we really had to start thinking about, okay, how did we want the building to expand and evolve? We were having someone come in that offered recovery services, so cold plunge sauna, IV therapy, peptide therapy, things like that. We had a pelvic floor therapist coming in. We already had an esthetician in there who does brows, injectables, lashes, all the things. Massage therapist. Like, we had so much there to offer, but I still wanted to have more as a fitness option. And we were running the yoga aspect of the studio into studios, like rooms within our space, kind of like we were doing at the old location. But the one room was not well utilized. It was underutilized. And when you're thinking about per square footage, is it actually generating revenue? The answer was no. And so then we asked ourselves, okay, how do we modify the schedule to be the least impactful for our members? How do we foster that desire to have a multimodality studio? And what can we put into this room? And that's where we decided that we were going to introduce the reformer Pilates to our studio. So we do high intensity reformer Pilates. It's high intensity, it's low impact, but it has been a game changer for our studio and in the way that our members utilize the studio, and also has completely impacted the way that we actually function for our memberships, the way that we run memberships, the way that we retain our members. It has been one of the best things that we've ever done. And I feel like the studio finally feels whole. Whereas before, the last 5.5 years, I almost felt like I was always treading water in a way. Like I knew that there was something to come. I knew that it needed to get bigger. I knew that it could get bigger, but I wasn't sure how. And now it feels so good. We are expanding, we are growing, and our members absolutely feel that way too.
Oh, I love that. You knew it was all going to come together. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
We haven't touched on Altitude Social House. That's also another endeavor of yours. So can you share a little bit about that as well and how it works within your ecosystem?
Absolutely. So Altitude Social House, I like to think of it as like a mall, and then Rogue Awakening and all the little places are like the places inside the mall. So Altitude Social House is the name of the entire wellness hub. And then within that wellness hub, we have 12 women-owned businesses that exist. They are, for the most part, wellness-based. We do have a co-working space where we have someone who runs her marketing firm out of it, someone who runs her AI firm out of it, and another person who specializes in working with toddlers. So all women-owned businesses, they are running their businesses. And then the ones where you actually can go in and you can have services done, like Zeal Vitality, which is the recovery suite, the pelvic floor therapist, Artel, who's doing all the aesthetics, the cafe, the child watch, the gym, all the things.
It's like a retreat. I got to go to
Honestly, it is. Like, you can literally spend a whole day with us.
I was going to say, I'm making a trip down.
Yeah, please do. Come hang out. You will have the best time ever. You will feel relaxed. And if you take a class, you will feel relaxed and also dead a little, but in the best way possible. But it all works so cohesively together. When we were moving into our space, we went from a 5,000 square foot space into a 15,000 square foot building.
Wow.
So it's 3 levels. And when we moved in, we knew that there was space. Like, I could not just have 15,000 square feet of stuff in there. It also doesn't make sense, right? I wanted this to be something that would be able to generate revenue for myself, for my family, for my parents. It's an endeavor that we went in together. And so this is like their retirement plan. And so, like, I better make it work. So they own the building, and I have helped them find all these other tenants. And these tenants are people that I've already have relationships with. So I opened 3 years ago with Artel, with Caitlin. She's the owner of Artel with the aesthetic side of things. And so she's always been present. We have wellness suites where massage therapists run their businesses out of. There's 3 that run their businesses out of there right now. And they just see their clients. And we have people from Rogue Awakening who go and see them. And then on that top floor, again, it was just me reaching out to people I already had relationships with. And I asked, are you interested in expanding your business? And do you want to do this thing with me? And it's always been a big yes. And then I get to work with them to build out their spaces, to really make it match this vibe. When you come in there, you just like instantly feel the way that you're supposed to feel in every single space. It is intentional, and it is just like a good feeling no matter where you're at in the building, except the basement right now. It has Saw vibes because we're doing some construction. And so there's one little light hanging. It's
the dichotomy between the wellness,
yes,
clean girl, and then Saw.
And then Saw. Yeah. So that, though, come like September, will also have the same vibes, but it's really funny now. I walked down there today and I'm like, oh, it's a little creepy, but okay, whatever. Let's work out. So yeah, it just all works together. It's like, I always wanted a place where I could just go for all the things, right? Like, the only thing I feel we're missing is maybe like a nail salon, which I would love, because then it's just like really cohesive. One person refers to another person. If you come to me and you're like, hey, I'm having pelvic floor pain, well, let me send you to fertility PT. Hey, I feel like I'm not getting what I need out of my workouts. I'm also struggling with this autoimmune disorder. I'm going to send you up to Zeal Vitality. Hey, I'm like having a breakout. Is it for my workouts? I don't know. I'm going to send you over to Artel. And then we can always cross refer. And it has just been like the most beautiful wellness, cohesive ecosystem to ever exist.
Oh, that's amazing. And I can imagine too, they love being associated with you because it's almost built-in referrals one way or another. Like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
100%. 100%.
Can you share a little bit more about how you're making fitness more approachable, given that you have different classes based off of people's wants and needs?
Absolutely. I think I touched on it a little bit before, where we're really big on you being to meet yourself where you're at and you also feeling safe to start again. Fitness is not this linear journey. Fitness is going to be something that you're going to be crushing at some points, and other times it's going to feel like you're climbing Mount Everest. It's going to depend on what you have going on in your life. We have busy seasons. We have seasons where we can really go all into other parts that we want to. But I think that the fitness industry in a whole has almost been like one-dimensional, where you have this thing that you're doing and you feel like you have to do it and you feel like you have to go like super all in on it. And if you don't, you almost feel bad. Like, people feel bad if they can't get into the gym for a whole hour. People feel bad if they miss a day. And the reality is, it's actually not great to work out every single day. Your body needs recovery. You need rest. You need to eat well. And I think there's a lack of education around that. So within our space, we are huge on educating our members about the importance of recovery, about how you're actually going to see the results that you want. And it's going to be science driven and backed, because that is what is going to be that evidence that you need to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I haven't been doing the right thing. Maybe I don't need to be taking a HIIT class every single day, because the reality is, like, your body, you're putting your body in so much stress like that. So at our studio, we are very big on making that new member experience really memorable in a way that makes you feel like you belong instantly. I get feedback all the time about how welcoming it felt, and our teachers are very intentional about making sure that we are talking with our new friends, that we are making sure they feel good about class. We're asking the questions. If you have an injury, we're going to help you through that. We've had people who literally have had a cast on and they sit in a chair while they're lifting weights because that's what they needed to do to get their workouts in. We've had members who have maybe had a hip injury and they also need to sit in a chair for class, and we accommodate. We've had people who maybe have a disability. We accommodate, and we want to make it approachable for everyone, because coming into a new fitness space, or fitness space in general, super intimidating. I'm even intimidated when I go into a new space or a new gym. I'm like, I don't know how to use this equipment. Are they going to be nice? And so in all of our efforts, we really want everyone to feel like they belong instantly and know that they can start, they can fail, they can restart, they can do all the things, and it doesn't matter. We'll support them no matter what.
That type of welcoming environment, I think, is so key, especially when it comes to your fitness journey, because it's so personal and there's a lot to it. It's not one size fits all. So what's a typical membership journey?
Yeah, you'll make your profile. If you are very savvy, you're going to make your profile, you're going to buy our intro offer, and you're going to sign up for your first class. Sometimes that we need to help out a little bit, and that's cool too. We always, every day, we see the people who are coming into our system, and we are going to start doing really intentional reach outs. Once someone comes into our space via becoming a lead, you'll start to get communication. That communication immediately is going to start making you feel comfortable with this space. You're going to have access to a video that's giving you a tour of this space. You're going to be getting emails when you sign up for a specific class, because we do offer 8 different types of classes. When you're signed up for one, you're going to get an email explaining what to expect for that class and what to bring. When you sign up for a different one later, you're going to get another email explaining what to expect for that class and also what to bring, because there are 3 different spaces, you need different equipment, and there's different expectations. We never want someone to come into our studio who maybe came, for example, like a deep stretch yoga class, and then they're signed up for Power Sculpt, but our team wasn't aware of it because it's not their first visit anymore. There's like certain things that come up in their profile. So they don't know that they have to grab weights. They don't know that it's going to be hot potentially. They don't really know what to wear. Do you wear socks? Do you not wear socks? And so we try to take away those barriers of the questions and the what ifs. And some of that is what causes the nervousness.
Absolutely.
We try to take that away. And I think that really sets the pace for what then becomes a really long-term journey for our members. They can choose between an annual membership or a month-to-month membership, and we just talk them through that. Once they're done with their intro offer, they typically make that choice, and then we have a 90-day period where we're making sure that you understand how to give yourself the right nutrients, how to utilize a studio. We check in with you. We encourage you to bring your friends. You get buddy passes with your memberships. Like, we want you to come here and be excited about coming here. And we are going to help you through it the entire way. And if you stop showing up, we're also going to call you and be like,
Hey.
what are you doing? Hello.
We miss you.
Yeah, exactly. Because we do miss our members. If they don't show up, we notice it. And we are going to be, if you don't answer your phone, I'm going to come knock on your door. I'm going to be like, are you okay? Come work out. Come use this membership that you have. But one of the best parts about our memberships is actually that your credits are not ever going to expire. So a lot of times, and even in the other spaces I've worked in, if you have an 8-class pack, you use them or you lose them within that month. We have a similar setup to ClassPass where you have credits and then you spend your credits however you want. So some classes cost like 2 credits, some cost 1, some cost 3, 5, whatever it is. So you just spend your credits however you want to, but they're never going to expire. So again, it really helps with people being able to use a studio and whatever is going on with their life. And there's no restrictions and you get every penny that you've spent, you're going to get out of the studio.
That's such a key selling point in my opinion, because life gets busy. We enter busy seasons. You don't really know what's going to come up, but let's just say you're like, no, you have to use this all in the month, and people might have a bad taste in their mouth of, I really don't want to work out today, but I have to. So you're understanding, you accommodate, you're flexible, and I think that goes a long way with a consumer.
Absolutely.
How many members roughly would you say you have?
I actually know exactly how many we have because we just had an open house. We have 353 members right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And those are people who are paying a monthly recurring membership. We also have some people who are on class packs and things like that, or on credit packs, I guess I should call them. But yeah, we have 353 full-on month-to-month members.
Do you offer education or training for people that might want to get into the fitness space?
We absolutely do. We offer continuing education for people who are maybe already in fitness or really interested in certain aspects. So for example, I have an aerial yoga training coming up. We do mobility training. We do sound and music frequency training, prenatal, postnatal's coming up. So we have these smaller trainings that we offer, but then we also offer a 200-hour yoga teacher program. So if people are interested in becoming a yoga teacher, they'll be able to do that. We also have a reformer Pilates training that we offer that will be coming up soon to open to the public. It was just an in-house training that we did prior, and now we've like really built it up. It's pretty robust, and we'll be able to offer it to the public. So we are very passionate about offering those things because we feel very passionate in the way that we do fitness and the way that we interact with our members, and we teach the people who come through our programs exactly how to do that. So we're hoping that these aren't people who are necessarily going to be members or teachers at my studio. They're going to go out and they're going to take that knowledge that we gave them into the fitness industry. And that is just like crushing my mission even more, to take what they're learning out of the 4 walls and bring it into other spaces. And I hope that those other spaces really bring them in.
Oh, that's incredible. I do think your space is incredibly unique based off of everything that we've talked about. And it's very community driven. You went from operator to more of a curator across multiple businesses. What has been the hardest thing for you to grapple with in this new role?
I wish that each day was like 72 hours long. I just feel like I don't have enough time, but it goes back to that conversation of I just doing the best I can, right? So in addition to, of course, running Rogue Awakening, running the cafe, because the cafe is also mine, the Child Watch, because that is also mine, the event space, because that is also mine. I am not perfect by any means, but what I will say is I have the best team in the entire world, and they simplify things for me so much. They will literally be like, what can I do? One of my girls, Riley, she's so sweet the other day. I'm going to remind you to do your taxes, because taxes have been my biggest holdup in recent times. She's like, I'm going to remind you to do them every month, so that way you don't have to be here every April like freaking out because like I'm sitting up in our co-working den just like nose deep into my computer just trying to get through the last year. I'm like, thank you, Riley. Like, she has my back. But yeah, I have the best team in the world, and they make it possible for me. If I did not have them, I quite literally could not do what I do. But I think that truly doing all the things has been really challenging, and it is the most challenging part of it, making sure that I'm not missing an event inquiry. I'm not missing if a tenant needs to pay something, which sometimes I do, and it's lucky for them, but then I catch it like 15 days later. So we always figure it out. Yeah. But I do feel very limited on time because also I am thoughtful about my time with Tegan. So like my text messages are insane.
Oh, mine's so bad.
It's so bad. I think
I
I
already have a
have
child.
well, if you ever do, it's going to get a lot worse, okay? Because I think I have 570 unread text messages. And some of them, yeah, there are definitely marketing messages from other places.
100% same.
Some of them are actually really important. And my thought is, I see it, I'm like, I'm going to get back to it tonight. But my kid does not like to sleep, right? So she doesn't go to bed till 10. And I feel like it's not appropriate to be texting people at 10 p.m. So then they just never get a text. And it just is what it is.
And the thing is, I tell myself, we were never meant to be this accessible. And it's never intentional.
True that. It's not because I don't want to text people back.
Life happens.
Life happens. I am doing my best.
Yes, we're all doing
I am
our
doing my
best.
best. It just is what it is. And I tell people, I'm like, you might have to double message me. Give me a call.
It's never personal.
It's
That's
never
what I tell
personal.
people.
Yeah,
I see it.
I do see it. And sometimes I don't actually. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I missed this really important text message that you sent me 2 weeks ago. But here's your answer. I hope it's not too late.
Yeah, no, totally
Is what
get
it is.
We've touched on this a lot, but obviously the wellness space has changed a ton over the years and is exploding right now. Where do you feel like your company fits within the broader landscape?
I think that there are always going to be trends that come up. And for our space, and because it's multimodality, we have less of a concern of being phased out, which is really important. Right now, reformer Pilates and the term Pilates in general, it is hot, and it's probably going to be like this for the next 5 to 7 years. But at some point, yoga was the thing to do. At some point, Barry's Boot Camp, Orange Theory, things like that was the thing to do, those HIIT style workouts. There's always going to be trends. And within those trends, it's important that a business is building up to be able to navigate through those. And in offering a multimodality studio, we have done that. And so, yes, we have Reformer Pilates. Reformer Pilates will never be all the way out, just like yoga is never going to be all the way out, just like HIIT is never going to be all the way out. But hopefully what we have created is going to continue to retain our members, because when those things come up, we are going to be able to still have one of the things that's hot, unless all of a sudden boxing becomes like the biggest thing ever. I don't see us adding a boxing studio, but who knows? I'm open, I'm flexible. We'll do what we have to do.
I also think what lends itself to the longevity piece is that you've curated a really intentional community, not just from you guys, but within your members itself. So can you talk a little bit about the community that you've curated?
Yeah, our communities are everything. Our members they literally are everything. And I think that some studios miss that. And it's really unfortunate because people need people. People come to us because they are seeking community. And so in this age of AI and in this age of workouts literally being at your fingertips, I truly believe there is always going to be a space for in-person fitness classes.
Absolutely.
Because people need that, right? If you are a studio and you are not actively trying to create community through introducing your members to each other, having challenges, whatever the case might be, you are missing out on a huge part of the reason why people have even sought you out. And if you don't have that, you're not going to be able to have your attention. We do challenges regularly. Like right now we're in one, it's called April Hustle, and we encourage our members to take 15 classes in 30 days. And in doing that, there's so much hype in the studio. Classes are busier. People are introducing themselves to each other because they're literally like a foot and a half away from each other in their space. People encouraging each other and friendships being made. We have had people who they've gone to each other's weddings in other countries because they become best friends at our studio. It's the best thing in the world. We've had couples who have met at our studio. And it's the best thing in the world. And so, but we've done that so intentionally. If you have a space where your team is not welcoming, they're not saying hello to the person by name, immediately they're not going to feel welcomed. If you're not introducing members to each other, people aren't just going to go out of their way unless they're really outgoing and be like, hey, I'm Giovanna. People are going to just like be in their little space and they're going to do their little workout and then they're going to leave and they're going to sheepishly say bye. So as the person on the other side, I have to be the curator of creating these relationships for our members. And so is my team. And we're all very intentional and very thoughtful about doing that.
I also think too, we are in the Midwest where everyone's friendly.
Yeah.
But outside of the obvious, and you're from around here, why did you know Fairlawn was the right place to build this?
Well, I think it just was like happenstance. I love Fairlawn and I actually just live like 7 minutes from the studio. So it's very convenient. The way that the studio actually came to be was because another studio had closed. They were only open for, I think, 5, 6, 7 months, like a very short period of time. It was less than a year. I had done an intro offer there. Like I said, I like to bounce around. I like to try new things. I did an intro offer there. And so I would get their email communication, and I got one of their communications that said, it's closing for good. And so I had mentioned it to my family. Oh, the studio essentially down the road, they're closing. And my parents were like, you got to email.
You got to hop on
You got to hop on it. This is your sign. My mom's, this is the sign. This is the universe saying, go, G, do it. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I sent an email and I said, hey, first, I hope everything is okay, because anytime a business shuts down,
you don't like to see that.
You don't want to see that, and you never know what the circumstances are that led to it. She filled me in a little bit on what's going on, and it ultimately just came down to a franchisee disagreement that could not be settled, and so she decided to close her doors. So this brand new space that she, I believe, had invested at the time $500,000 into. It was beautiful. It was brand new. It was made for a yoga studio. So going into this, I actually was not that excited about opening up a yoga studio. Like, I like yoga. I love yoga?
Yeah, you don't seem wired for yoga. Coming from someone who's also not wired for yoga.
Yeah, but I know it's so good for me, right? And I know it's so good for my members. So when someone comes up to me and they're like, I just don't like yoga, I'm like, same kinda. I really love lifting weights. I really love doing our reformer Pilates classes, and I do the yoga because I know it's good for me. And I've never taken a yoga class where I was like, I did not like that. I feel so good after. But opening up a yoga studio felt a little funny to me. And so I'm very excited about what we've grown into now. And it just, again, it happened that the building that we were moving to, obviously we couldn't move far from our members. Like, we needed to be mindful about what that relocation would look like. It's a quarter mile down the road from our old location. And it was an easy switch up for our members. And so it's in Fairlawn, Ohio. It's in this building that's off the beaten path. You would never think about it. I didn't even know it existed until we existed there. But it's been great, and it's actually not a bad location because we have people who come from Cleveland. We have people who are coming from Stowe, from Kent, from all over and around us, and we're right off the highway, so we're fairly accessible. So it has worked out really well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you have any challenges from a marketing standpoint, getting people to know where you're at since you're maybe a little bit off the beaten path?
Interestingly enough, getting the word out about being in this space was easier than getting the word out when we were in a strip mall type area. I do not know the reason why, truly. I don't know. I think that when you are in a strip mall and one of the anchor stores was Target, the other one Home Goods, Giant Eagle, Marks, you almost get lost.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's what it was. So even though you're not going to see us driving down West Market, that main street, you have to find us in other ways. And it's not a matter of getting lost in the mix anymore. Like, if you're coming to us, you're coming to us. And it's created almost a destination in a way. And so it's worked out really well. So we don't have like road signage by any means, but
people find you.
Yeah, people find us. They really do. And they are confused as can be when they pull up, because it is just like this big brick building. And then you walk in and it's this wellness oasis. You're like, wow, you would never think this was in here. I'm like, I know. How cool is that? It is pretty cool.
Struggling with digital marketing, branding, or website design? Does it seem impossible to navigate the landscape of social media, influencers, and algorithm tweaks? At VividFront, we thrive on challenges like these. When the rules constantly shift, we don't just adapt, we excel. We've cracked the code for growth time and time again, propelling some of the biggest names in e-commerce and B2B to new heights. With our custom digital marketing solutions, we don't just promise results, we deliver them. Ready to take your business to the next level? Visit vividfront.com today to get started.
We've already talked about, obviously, marketing, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about your holistic marketing strategy. So can you give us a little bit of an overview about what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. The marketing aspect around it all being holistic. When we talk about fitness in general, sometimes, I think I mentioned earlier, it's like very one-dimensional. Like, you do this one thing, you do it hard, and you go for it. In our space, we encourage you to not do that. I literally tell people, I don't care how much you love Power Sculpt. That's like our yoga weightlifting hybrid. you should not do it every single day. Your body is not going to benefit in the way that you want it to from doing it every single day. And so when we're marketing, we talk a lot about the importance of variety. We talk about a lot about what is actually happening in your body. So we are educating our viewers through Instagram, through TikTok, through Facebook, whatever it might be, and inside our studio about physiologically what's going on in your body when you are actually working out. And we also do it in our classes. So education is a huge piece that our teachers bring into their classes. And I tell all my teachers, and when I take their classes, I'm listening for an educational component where they're actually giving our members something that is tangible that they can take out of the studio, potentially put into their other workouts, share with their family and friends, whatever the case might be. There should always be an educational component. And that has been a huge part in our marketing. And I think a really big part in what keeps people excited and coming back, because it is cool to learn stuff. Especially as adults, I almost feel like we forget to keep trying to learn new things. Yeah. And so when you can do that, the teachers who do that are the ones who see the best class numbers. And I tell that when we have that to new teachers when we have them, because that's how you're going to build your following. That's how you're going to build your community. And that's what's been successful for us.
Yeah, so it seems like organic social and then word of mouth marketing really comes into play. Are you doing anything on paid or trying to tap into things like SEO?
A little bit. So and it depends on what we have going on in the studio. We do some SEO. We do some ads on Instagram, Facebook. Our biggest thing actually has been TikTok, which is funny enough, but that has been huge for helping us grow and just getting the word out. A lot of it is word of mouth and referrals. We have this idea, and it's not like it's right or wrong. If you have a bad experience somewhere, you're going to talk about it. If you have a good experience somewhere, you're probably not going to talk about it. If you have an amazing experience somewhere, you're also going to talk about it. So you really have to be on it. Like, you have to show up and make people be like, that was insanely amazing. And so that's what we do in our studio. We want it to almost be like the Disney World of a fitness studio. When you come in, you have your name on your locker during your first visit. We have your towel set up for you. Like, we love on you so hard because we do want you to feel very welcomed and like you belong, because you do belong. And so we do these little things to make sure that it happens. So that way someone could leave the studio and be like, this is like the best thing since sliced bread in the fitness world. But yeah, with our SEO, we've done it when it just depends on if we have a teacher training coming up, we might run an ad. When we had our open house, that was actually super beneficial. We ran an ad just to get a list pulled together. And I think we got 600 people that pulled through that ad, which was pretty good. So we've done it in short stints, never for a long period of time. And we also have been very mindful about the time frame of when we do it. Like, we don't even try during Black Friday and Christmas.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Like, I'm a small business. I can't.
You can't compete.
I act like a big dog, but like I'm not. I'm like, we hands off there. Yeah. So we're very thoughtful about when we do it.
No, that's very important, especially if you're pushing media spend on those platforms that just go bonkers. That's what we do. Q4 is like our Christmas, but at the same time, it's expensive to run anything.
So
for the referral piece and word of mouth, I know you have obviously a ton in place, but how do you incentivize people to bring in their friends who could eventually become members?
Yeah, our members, they have buddy passes. Depending on your membership, when you get an annual membership with us, you're getting a whole slew of perks. Buddy passes, buddy credits being one of them. So you get 5 buddy credits every month that you can spend. So you could bring someone to 5 1-credit classes. You could bring people to 2 2-credit classes and 1 1-credit class. You can spend them however you want. And so it's already bringing their friends or family in, and it can be whoever. It could be the same person if they wanted it to be. Outside of that, we also offer the ability for our members to actually send their friends a referral code. So they could just send their friends 5 credits, and that friend gets 5 free credits. They can come and utilize our studio. And then when that friend buys, our member is immediately going to get 10 bonus credits. And those credits aren't going to expire. They're going to be on their account for theoretically forever. And so when they're doing that, there's a little bit of incentive for our member to also encourage their friend, oh, you should definitely join. You should get your membership based off of my referral code. So that has been really helpful. But like I said, people have a really great experience when they come in. And so it's pretty I don't want to say easy because there's been a lot of work that's gone into making our system work like it does, literally 6 years in the making. But once someone comes in, they feel at home and they feel the vibes and they're like, okay, this is it. So we get a lot of referrals and turn through people from lead to intro to member pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. You've curated such a unique experience to the individual person that of course they're coming back. And it's easy for them to want to tell their friends because if you have an amazing experience, like you've said, I tell anyone. But also to your point, if I've had a bad experience, I tell people because I don't want them to go through the same thing. So I think it's important to have everything in place that you do. And I think too, the content really comes into play here because one of the first things that people do before they check out a new studio is look at their social media channels. So can you share a little bit more about your approach to organic social?
Yeah, my girl Christina, she's our social media manager, and she is a godsend because if I had to run it, it would not go well. I'll tell you that much.
You're like, I know my strengths. So
I know my strengths, and it's not. If I only had to do it, sure, I could probably make it work, but no, just like I said, I'm already torn in so many different places. My team makes it possible for any of this to be happening. She being a huge component of that. So I actually love when I get to pull up my Instagram and all of a sudden I see a post from Rogue Awakening pop up and it's this super funny reel. And I'm like, you guys are so funny. That's my people. Those are my people. I love you guys. But we are really big on having educational content on there. So that way we're maybe reaching a broader audience that's not just going to be Rogue people only, but we also try to do funny content so that way it's also relatable. So funny content, any gym space. And we're really big on showing off our members too. We do want to show off our community because like I said, when people are coming to a fitness space, they're looking for community. They're looking for engagement. And when we show off our members hitting milestones, when we show off when we have a workshop, when we're showing off like our full classes, that is a huge driver for people coming in being like, okay, I can see myself in this person. I want to be here. It's especially important when we share, like we have a member spotlight. And that member spotlight, we really try to grab a person within our community that is going to be someone that is showing off a broad range of people that we have in our community because we do have such a broad range. We have men, we have women, we have parents, we have people who are getting to work from home. We have people who work in like a professional setting. We have people all across the board, all size, shapes, everything. And if you're only showing one type of person, immediately you are not making yourself available to someone that doesn't look exactly like that. So we're really mindful to show off. Yeah, we have members who are in their 70s and they're crushing it in Power Sculpt. We also have members who are in their 20s and they come as a couple and they have a baby and they come together as a family. And so it's cool that we can use our socials to really showcase what our studio is.
Absolutely. I think that also helps you stand out in a crowded fitness space and helps differentiate you. Do you ever work with local creators or influencers and invite them into the space?
Not really, actually. And not because we don't want to. I think we just haven't really taken the time to maybe make those connections. Like Christina, she's a mom of 2 and she teaches classes and she's super busy, and our socials for what we've been doing, it's worked well. We have at one point, we worked with a pretty large creator who is in the Cleveland area, but I feel like maybe it was hitting that Cleveland market and we didn't really get a lot of ROI from it because we're technically not Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Like we have people from Cleveland who come to us, but
that's not the norm.
No, we're not going to have someone that's going to have a membership that's month to month coming from Cleveland. That's going to be someone who's just doing drop-ins, who might come for a day, get a facial and a massage and take a class and enjoy the cafe, make a day out of it. And so as far as Akron goes, we have done a little bit with collaboration with other small businesses. And I actually find that those ones are probably the ones where you see the biggest return on investment because we are cross-promoting a business. They're going to benefit from us. We're going to benefit from them. And we've been able to do some giveaways and things like that.
What have been some of the most successful partnerships or collaborations?
Well, honestly, since moving into this new space, it's going to be with the people who are actually in this space. And we are mindful of making sure that we aren't collaborating with someone who is potentially a competitor of someone who is also in our space, right? So we've had people reach out to us who are maybe in the aesthetics or maybe in the recovery realm of the wellness space, but we have that in-house. And so we do a lot of things collaboratively together within the building. But then we also will team up with Leaf Home and Blooms as one of our favorite little small businesses out of Akron. They also have a space in Kent. I love them. That's where we get our flowers for the cafe from. And we do a ton of stuff with them, and our members get their flowers from them. And we do a ton of stuff with Bubbles and Bows. They do balloon installments, and her stuff is amazing. And so she'll just come and set up installments sometimes, and it helps her with her business. And she posts about us, and she's amazing at what she does. Her name's Christy, and it gets people into our space. And so it's been random things like a flower place and a plant place and a balloon place, but like it works. I actually find that when we have collaborated outside with people who are in the wellness space, it doesn't go that well for whatever reason, but the random stuff goes great.
I love that.
Yeah, the more random, the better.
And I think events and in-person type of activations really help strengthen those brand ties, and also too are a great customer acquisition tool. So how do events play into your strategy?
We do all sorts of events. Last year we did an event. It was called Stronger Together, and it was a collaboration with us and Lululemon, which was cool, our local store. And people got a swag bag. Everyone was wearing something similar. We offered 2 classes. It was just a super amazing community event. So that got the word out really well. We bring Santa to town to Altitude Social House during Christmas time. We've done a trick or treat within the building, and a lot of these events are going to be at like a minimal cost or free depending on what it is, just because we want the community to come in. We also do sip and shops, and so we will invite other small businesses to come and showcase their products at our location. We had a girl set up like a little farmer's market on the outside of our building during the summertime. So we really try to support other small businesses and use our space for them to grow. We've done pre-postnatal pop-ups where it's like a whole education day for people who are expecting maybe their first, second, whatever. They're expecting a baby, and we've done a whole event for them. So those have been huge. Again, just building that community. When a member sees another member there, they're like, oh my gosh, you're here. Hey. And it's cool. And then they become friends, and they show up at each other's weddings, and it's awesome.
Do you have any events coming up?
Yeah. We don't have a huge one, but our birthday week is coming up. We're going to be officially 6, June 20th. And so that whole week, I am such a birthday brat. Like growing up, my whole family, a month out, I'm like, so it's May 9th, someone's birthday is coming up very soon. So what are we going to do, guys?
Birth month?
Yes, exactly. Birth month, which I now share with my studio, and I now also share with my daughter. So June is actually my favorite month of the whole entire year because there is so much going on. So during that month, we are going to be doing $6 drop-in classes throughout that whole week because we're turning 6, and it will be for any class across the board. And then throughout that week, we're also going to be doing challenges, and so people will be able to earn points, and then depending on your points, you'll get to win stuff. And so we make it this really interactive week. It's not just like one event. We actually find that when we do these week-long ventures, I guess, they're super successful. So just a month ago in March, we did our studio open house. That was like the craziest thing in the whole wide world. I think I mentioned that to you in email, like I could barely keep my head above water, but like in the best way possible, because we had full classes, we had full wait list. The energy and the vibes of the studio were insane. It was also so hot in that hot class with 40 people jammed in there, but it was amazing. So birthday is what we have to come, and then come the holidays, we'll have other things that'll come up like a sip and shop and whatnot.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you so much.
I will definitely be there.
Should we just start celebrating now? Like
Absolutely.
It's only
How
April.
much planning goes into that?
We start talking about it in February. This is actually the first year where I feel very prepared for all the things to come. In years past, I felt, like I said earlier, treading water a little bit. I'd be like, oh my gosh, this thing is coming up in a week. We don't have any of the marketing material. We haven't done anything. This year, we have sat down, me and my leadership team, to really talk about, okay, what's to come? What are some of those like weird national holidays that come up? I think one was like Rubber Duck Day, and we had rubber ducks all around the studio where if you turn one over, it had like a prize you could win. And so we've been trying to do more fun things like that for our community, again, to build community, to make it fun. We had people who were showing up half hour early for their class because they wanted to search the studio high and low. We had people stay for an hour after their class working together to find these ducks that were hidden in the gym.
What did I do here?
It was actually so funny and very impressive at the same time, like the dedication that some people had. So I was like, okay, go row, go team. So yeah, it's fun.
Looking ahead to the next 6 years and beyond, what are you thinking about the business? How do you want to scale? Is it expanding, or is it really strengthening those local community roots?
Short term, it's going to be strengthening the local community roots. It's going to be completing the construction of our current space, so it's no longer cool vibes into saw vibes. It's going to be making some modifications to the outside of the building, really honing into Altitude Social House and making that a destination spot and a true holistic hub. So right now, like, we have a couple tenant spaces that are open, and so filling those spaces with people who we feel really support what our efforts are. Also, within that time frame, I do maybe plan on expanding my own family. And so I'm trying to be mindful of that, because what I really want is I want Rogue Awakening to be a nationally known brand. Not so much Altitude Social House. I think Altitude Social House is going to be this one thing that exists in Fair Lawn, Ohio, and it is what it is. But then Rogue Awakening, I can see being a brand that is duplicated tenfold, because we have the systems in place, because it's working like a well-oiled machine at this point. And it's something that we could be like, okay, here is the SOP. Here it is. We're opening another studio. Okay, here it is. We're opening another studio. I would love to see that. But again, I want to think about my family and about what that looks like for me. And I have some things that I want to do first before I get to that point. So maybe it is just like opening maybe 2 more locations that are somewhat in the area. Maybe Cleveland.
Maybe Cleveland.
I have a member out there, if she's ever listening in. She's been hounding me since she moved to Cleveland to open up a studio in this area. So I think that expansion is imminent for sure. And I think it's probably funny because I might listen to this in a year from now and be like, oh my God, we're like doing something completely different.
We'll have you back on.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it. Yeah, it'll be great. So yeah, you never know. 6 years ago, I never thought this would be what it is. Ever. I think I just made a post about it on my Instagram the other day because I was featured on Fox or on ABC Channel 5.
I saw that.
And yeah, and so it was just cool to talk about my business in this way. We were featured on the news back in, I think, 2021 for our puppy kitten yoga classes. And I just look at little me 5 years ago compared to like where I'm at now, and to the space that we've built and the other businesses that I've helped just start from the ground up to get going, and for them to find success. It's like the best thing in the world, and it's nothing I could have imagined. So I don't want to set any limitation to be like, yeah, this is what's going to happen, because I don't know. But what I do know is that this is just the beginning for Rogue Awakening. It might just be the beginning for Altitude Social House. Who knows? Maybe I'll throw an Altitude Social House somewhere else too.
Maybe.
We never know.
When your daughter looks back on all of this, what do you hope she sees?
I hope she sees me happy, and I hope that she knows that anything is possible if you try and if you believe in yourself. I hope that she's proud of me, and I hope that we're just living the best life together with our family, however big our family becomes or doesn't become or whatever it is. I just hope that we're happy and that we're enjoying life, and that she knows that anything is possible. She has zero limitations. That girl could do whatever she wants. She's wicked smart. And so I just hope that's what she takes from all of this.
Well, she has an incredible role model in you.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready to be in the hot seat?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Best thing about being a mom?
Everything's so magical now, truly. Even just Easter a little bit ago, every egg she found, she's like, Mama, another egg. I'm like, I know, girl.
There's more.
There's so many more. Everything's just magical, and I get to slow down. Everything's more magical for me now too.
What is your best advice for female entrepreneurs?
Don't wait until you feel ready, because you're never going to feel ready. You need to just do it. If I waited until I felt ready, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I wouldn't have this fitness empire that I'm building. If you have a dream and you have the opportunity, you need to just take it.
What's your current workout split?
That's such a good question. I do what I can when I can, but in a perfect world, I am lifting upper body, lower body at least one time a week. And when I say lifting, like I'm going for it. I am failing. I am like Private Ryan, like I can't hear right, see right. Like I'm having all the physiological effects of maxing out in those lift sessions. And then the rest of the time, I am supplementing that with yoga, which I love. And with our reformer Pilates, our power formers, and power sculpt, and doing some mobility work in between there. So I really utilize our studio to its max potential.
Oh yeah, you built it. Got to take advantage of it.
Got to use it, yeah.
Have you built the best butt in Fairlawn yet?
You know what? I actually did have someone from high school reach out to me and be like, girl, you got thick. And I was like, what does that even mean? To my husband, he was like, man, he's trying so hard. Yeah. But apparently I have built quite the booty. And just the other day, someone walked up to me and they were like, girl. And I was like, Thank you. So I think I'm getting there.
For people who don't know, can you share a little bit about what's the kind of, I don't say joke around, but you have a sign, right?
We have a full-on sign. So it actually just started with me being in Power Sculpt being like, it is my goal in life for us to be known to have the best butts in Farallon. Get those squats in. Like, that was my encouraging piece, right? And then it just like stuck. And then it turned into one of the things that we had on our website and our FAQs. Like, I don't even know exactly what it says. If you go to the website, you'll be able to see, but something about all the FAQs for building the best butt in Fairlawn or something around that. And then it just didn't stop. And then other teachers would talk about Giovanna's goal is for you guys to have the best butts in Fairlawn. And then when you have a Reformer Pilates studio component to your studio, I feel like you have to have a neon sign. I have not been to a single Reformer Pilates class where there wasn't a neon sign. So I'm like, what is our neon sign going to say? It's going to say best butts in Fairlawn, and we're even going to have socks to go with it. And it's becoming more and more true. We even had a member whose husband was like, did you get a BBL? No, she took Power Former classes, and her butt looks amazing. So
I need to take a trip down.
Come on down, girl. Come on down.
Put me through it.
Yes.
Final 2 questions for you. Favorite Akron restaurant?
Oh, Akron restaurant? Oh, I'm a pain in the butt because I eat a vegan diet. And so I really love Athena's Pizza. And it's not even Akron. It's technically, I think, Cuyahoga Falls. But man, I love their pizza so, so much. And it's vegan. And it's hard because there's cashews and my husband is allergic to cashews. But we just say he has a cashew allergy. And he totally just puts up with me. And he's been fine. They're great about allergies. So I love Athena's. So check them out. Vegan or not, like their pizza is bomb. I love pizza. That would be my last meal. Definitely
check it out. Favorite Akron coffee shop?
I'm a little biased because I do have my cafe and
true.
I swear, like I'm not just saying this, our coffee is so good. I swear we have the best coffee. There are some local roasters who we are going to partner with soon, which I'm very excited about, but the Blooming Brew Cafe, I don't think it can be beat.
Can't wait to check it out. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Where can our listeners learn more about Rogue Awakening and Altitude Social House?
So you can find us online, rogueawakening.com, altitudesocialhouse.com. If you go to altitudesocialhouse.com, you're actually going to be able to see all of the tenants that are within the building. You'll be able to keep up to date with everything that we have going on. Like I said earlier, we're super active on our social media, so you can follow along and you can see all the funny things we do. And then we are located in Fairlawn, 2841 Riviera Drive. So if you are looking to get the best butt in Fairlawn and bring it to Cleveland or wherever you're at, that's where you can find us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Now it's time to start making moves. Head to vividfront.com/marketing moves for exclusive marketing materials. Every episode, we add more of our greatest insider secrets to help you move towards success. See you next time.